Hi, so today I'll be talking about Unit 2.1, Introduction to Human Resource Management within Unit 2 of the IB Business Management course. So the unit content. So then within Unit 2, you'll be learning about the role of human resource management, internal and external factors that influence human resource planning, such as demographic change, change in labor mobility, immigration, flexi-time, and the gig economy. So unit content continued would also be reasons for resistance to change in the workplace, human resource strategies for reducing the impact of change and resistance to change, and business management toolkit such as the SEPAL analysis, force field analysis, which is HL only, and introduction to human resources and the businesses management concepts. So what is human resource management? So brainstorm as many ideas and words you can associate with HR and write down each individual word onto a sticky note and compare them to the answers I'm going to give you. So I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Just pause the video and think about it. Anyways, enough time. Let's continue. It's the role of human resource management. So human resource management is a management function of deploying and developing people within an organization to meet its objectives. So day in the life of a human resource department. I'll link this video down below so you can watch in your own time. But yeah, let's continue. Anyways, sorry about that. Okay, so the functions of HRM. So within HRM, you have workforce planning, recruitment and selection, training and development, performance management, pay and remuneration, discipline and grievances, and employee welfare. So workforce planning. So workforce or human resource planning is the process of anticipating and meeting an organization's current and future staffing needs. So many entrepreneurs argue that people are a firm's most valuable asset. Depends. Thus, workforce planning is an essential part of HRM. You have the current needs, the future needs, and workforce planning all going and interlocking together to work as one big function. So the importance of workforce planning. So failure to make the most of a firm's human resources will result in an organization facing a number of problems. These problems could be recruitment issues, which may lead to higher costs of recruitment, induction and training issues. You may have resources issues, which is directed on solving HR problems instead of achieving organizational objectives. Reservations, lower morale, and higher levels of uncertainty amongst existing staff. You may have returns, so lower levels of productivity and profits, and a bad reputation. So poor corporate image if a firm cannot retain or motivate staff. So internal and external factors that influence human resource planning. So you have demographic change, change in labor mobility, immigration, flexi time, and the gig economy. So demographic change. So changes in the characteristics and trends in a population will affect the supply of human resources in a country. So you have the demographic changes such as net birth rate, net migration rate, retirement age, women entering or returning into the workforce, and aging population, which I guess you guys should know by now what those mean because they're quite simple. But I'll explain the first two terms to those who may not know. So net birth rate is countries with a high net birth rate will in the long term have a larger supply of human resources, and the net migration rate is the amount of migrants coming into the country. So if net migration is positive, more immigrants than immigrants, then the supply of human resources will increase. The rest makes sense. So impacts of aging populations on HRM. So an aging populations mean there will be an increasing shortage in labor supply. Firms will need to be willing to appoint and retain older employees, even keeping them past their potential retirement age. Sorry. Women and part-time staff will also be more sought after to provide workforce flexibility. Sorry about that. Anyways, change in labor mobility. So the mobility of labor is the extent to which labor can move to different locations, so geographical mobility, be flexible in changing to different jobs, so occupational mobility. And then you have the limitations of geographical mobility, which may be ties to friends and family, relocation costs, fear of the unknown, cost of living in a new area, and language and cultural differences. And limitations on occupational mobility may be the attributes of the worker, for example, the education, the qualifications the worker has, the skills, experience, and training. And then mature workers who tend to be less willing to take risks may also have less occupational mobility. Then you have employees that are highly specialized, also less occupational mobility. And finally, discriminations from employees on factors such as age, gender, religion, or race. So immigration. So globalization has encouraged the migration of people for work purposes, of course. So firms, especially MNCs, will need to conduct workforce planning with these reasons in mind. So examples of reasons why worker migration occurs may be pay and remuneration, employment opportunities, seasonal factors, domestic instability, and higher standard of living. So these are all the reasons why workers may decide they want to migrate. Flexi time. So flexi time is a system whereby staff determine their working hours. So they subject themselves subject to them getting their work completed by set deadlines. So two common forms of flexi time are teleworking and home working. Teleworking versus home working. So teleworking is working away from the office by using electronic forms of communication. For example, salespeople of wineries who spend a significant amount of their time commuting and visiting clients instead of working from the winery at the vineyard. Then you have home working, which is when employees work from their own homes instead of going into an office, which has become increasingly more popular as a result of COVID. So the future of home working. So I'll link this video down below if you want to watch it in your own time. And yeah, advantages and disadvantages of teleworking and home working for employees. So there are many advantages and many disadvantages, of course, but let's go through the advantages first. So you have the job opportunities. You have suitable for those who have family commitments. You have flexible working hours, little to no commuting, thus reducing time, money, and stress, autonomy and decision making. And you have possible income tax allowances and increasingly affordable for people due to lower cost of technology. However, the disadvantages are there may be huge reliance on the use and reliability of ICT software and hardware, which means that if ever these systems fail, work may not get completed like during certain deadlines. Then also workers often exceed their contracted working hours, and you have social isolation and boredom, which may be a demotivation factor. And then you have often less job security and trade union representation. And then, of course, at home, naturally, there are many distractions that may occur, and there's lack of authentic training and career development opportunities that take place too, like within both teleworking and home working. So there are more advantages and disadvantages that you can read in your own time, but yeah, I'll just leave them for you for a second. Anyways, let's continue. So then the gig economy. So the gig economy refers to labor markets where workers are typically on short-term, flexible, and temporary contracts. So gig workers and independent contractors provide services on demand or on call. So these workers do not have permanent employment contractors, and these workers could include people such as Uber Eats delivery drivers, and yeah. So I'd like you to pause the video and list as many gig economy services as you can think of in 2 minutes. Okay, so benefits and limitations of the gig economy. So benefits, flexibility for workers, businesses, and consumers. Workers have the flexibility of working for a variety of employers to suit their needs, and there's lower costs for the businesses. And contractors and freelance workers make extra income on top of maybe existing jobs they already have, and they have more control of work-life balance in theory. And the limitations is that there's a lack of regular income levels, which leads to less job security and fringe benefits for workers. And there's lack of clear professional career paths or social support from the workplace. And independent contractors are also expected to fill out their own tax returns, which is a bureaucratic task and may take a lot of time. And then burnout is common when gig workers work multiple jobs and contracts, and as they may become tired and overworked. And there's also risk to a firm's reputation if outsourced freelance contract providers provide poor quality services, which may impact the business hiring them. Reasons for assistance to change in the workplace. So, reasons for assistance to change. So, according to Professor John Paul Cotter of Harvard Business School, there are the four main reasons why the workplace will resist change. And these are self interest, low tolerance, misinformation, and different points of view. Anyways, that's the end of Unit 2.1. And yeah, hopefully you watch the coming videos relating to Unit 3, Unit 4, and Unit 5. Have a good day.